Hey, what's up? GW coming to you live on demand on your YouTube channel. You know how we do it. Hey, couple of things. I haven't been on lately. I've been dealing with the pandemic, much like you guys, and I want to talk a little bit about that, and then I'm going to jump into a couple other things you guys might not know, or maybe you do know. Who knows? All right, look, about a week and a half ago, somewhere's in there, the president come on TV and he's mandating vaccines, right? He's doing this, doing that. And I'm not going to get into my political beliefs because I don't want to offend nobody and I don't want nobody starting an argument. All I'm trying to say to you is, or say about that is, rather, that I think at the end of the day, there's two ways you can look at this problem. Well, three ways. One, you could look at it is, okay, you know what, there's something out there. I'm going to get vaccinated up and I'm going to fight this thing and hope that the vaccine works the way that all these medical people say. Or you could look at it and say, you know what? Why the hell should I do what he wants me to do? Because I don't care about him. I don't care about what he stands for and this and that. You could say that. Or you could just simply say, hey, at the end of the day, what's best for me? Those are the three approaches you can take. So I got my vaccine. I'm getting my second one here later on. But I'm going to tell you, I didn't do it because President come out and said that. I did it because I thought long and hard about my wife and our health. And I said, look, it's the smartest play. But I ain't no preacher. I don't want to tell nobody what to do. And I know by now there's people like me that are sick to death of hearing about this coronavirus, vaccines, and the pandemics and all this. And we just want to get back to normal life. But there are people that want to hear that. You never know. So I did it at the end of the day, like I said, to keep me alive here, keep my wife alive, and hopefully safe from whatever it is that's out there. And if there is something out there, and people say there is, I don't know, I never caught it, but I don't want it if it exists. And don't get me wrong, I know what people are going to say. Oh, Greg just said this stuff don't exist. No, what I said was I never got hit with it. I've never seen anybody with it. But then again, you never know. So I don't want any of my words twisted up. Secondly, Dawn had a thing happen close to home with her, and it scared her into changing her mind about this vaccine. So we did the safest bet. We did that. And I was listening to Howard Stern, and I was listening to a bunch of other people. And you know what the rationale is, or the real story is, if you're not vaccinated and you catch this, it seems like you die pretty damn quick. And then with all these variants, you don't know what to expect. Yeah, you make jokes at the office saying, you know what, I'm going to wake up with, a third eye, or I'm going to wake up glowing, or I'm going to wake up a pile of goo when this thing's done with me. And you have fun with it because you deal with the fear of it in that way. You make jokes about it, or you act like it ain't happening. But then you realize that people are dying, from this. And that means there ain't no coming back. That means once you're 6 feet under, you're done. You know what I mean? Or you're on a ventilator the rest of your life, and you're paralyzed, or some other really messed up situation. So at the end of the day, like I said, Dawn and I looked at that, and we didn't do it because President mandated it. Because I would never do anything because he mandated it. I did it because I wanted to. I wanted to keep myself safe. So I just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know that. Because that seems to be the big thing. You got the vaccinated and the unvaccinated fighting each other. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't care what you are. Do what's best for you at the end of the day. So I'd already spent 4 minutes talking about this, so let's move on to something else, okay? Cool. All right, couple of good little tidbits of information for you. I know people are still watching my Jaws video about the Alex Kintner murder. Jaws took him under, that scene that I made a while back that's getting blown up all over the internet. You guys can see how many views it's got. It's got over 1,000, views. I don't even know what it's got now. But I wanted to share something with you guys. It has come to light. I did some research, and it has come to light that the Jaws book and what Peter Benchley originally intended was a much darker sort of ending, which would have got rid of Jaws 2, 3, 4. It would have been messed up. The original ending had Hooper getting eaten in that shark cage. And the reason that was a thought of ending is because in the book Jaws, if you guys remember, I touched on this. Matt Hooper had an affair with Ellen Brody. And this is his way of being punished by eaten by a giant great white shark. Think about that for a second. Now, the second ending would have everything the same except for the very end of the film, where instead of Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Schneider's characters paddling home, they would have seen another swarm of sharks swimming toward them, and it would have left viewers hanging. When asked about this, ending, the reason being is because at the time, if you guys watch any documentaries about the film, at the time, those three actors hated each other. And it was a way to put that all to bed. It was also a way to kill a franchise. But, as we all know in Hollywood, once you make a hit film, sequels, threequels, prequels, they're all going to come at you in swarms, if you're good enough. So you can explore those two endings. And also, there was another blotched ending, and it was from Jaws the Revenge. And somebody had asked me about it and said, hey, Greg, you talked about that film. You saw that film. What about the ending? It has a different ending on DVD than it does on television, And so I did some checking, and basically what had happened is that Mario Van Peebles' character, Jake, had gotten eaten by the shark. Throughout the whole course of the movie, you kind of come to like Jake. He's a pretty cool character. Quirky, intelligent, brave. And he's just a guy you want to hang out with and, go to a nice restaurant with down in the Bahamas. You want to kick it with him. So what happened was when they killed that character off, they kept it in the theatrical run. People got mad. When it came on TV viewers said, look, that's a little violent, or TV censors rather. They said that's a little violent, so we're gonna pull that scene back. So now Jake swims away in the torrent of blood, but he's alive. And that's why you have two different endings. It's because the TV censors, for a PG-13 movie, that was pretty intense. To tone it down from TV, they left everything except for that particular scene, as well as the girl getting bit in the leg on the banana boat, which was pretty gory considering that they trimmed that by a few seconds sometimes on TV, but they left Ellen Brody's son Sean get his arm ripped off in the beginning of the film. So you guys can figure that out. I still to this day, I've seen millions of movies on DVD. I've seen different cuts of movies. I have seen TV versions, cable versions, and everything seems to be edited a different way, and there's no rhyme nor reason, and I don't know what that's about. So you guys can check that out. All right, next thing we're going to roll into is that if you have Netflix or Peacock coming in October, you guys are in for a treat, especially if you're a horror movie fan. If you have Netflix, and at some point, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie is going to jump on there. And I'm not talking about the 73 version. I'm talking about the redid Feed Alvarez 2021 sequel to the 1974 film. The one where Leatherface is supposed to be an old guy. And it takes place, I guess, directly after the 74 one in terms of characters. So it'll be interesting to see that. Also, if you haven't been living under a rock for about a couple years, you know that Halloween, Danny McBride's Halloween, hit a couple years ago, maybe even last year. It was a pretty good film. It picked up right after John Carpenter's 1978 original. Continued the story of Laurie Strode and how she wants to get revenge on Michael Myers. And it did fairly well, and I was really intrigued by the film. The end of the film left Michael in a burning basement trapped. Well, Peacock has now acquired the rights, so you can see the middle chapter, Halloween Kills. That'll be on Peacock this October, and from what I understand, the death scenes are pretty gory, guys. And I'm not talking about no, knife to the head and then cut away. I'm talking about some really nasty stuff here. So you guys can check all that out. Now, there is going to be, before you guys ever watch this, there is going to be a third part, and it's going to be called Halloween Ends, and we're going to get that next year. So you can pretty much summarize the end of the film and say it's a safe bet to say Michael Myers lives, but in what condition? So there's that. And then there's the really big news that happened earlier this week, and it really, I know that sometimes, you pick up a paper and you say, what's in the headlines, and you start reading. And then you find somebody that passed away that you may really enjoy watching, comedian, a sports analyst. But this week we had the tragic news that Norm Macdonald died at 61 from cancer. And he battled it pretty privately, guys, because I've seen a lot of Norm Macdonald. I used to love Weekend Update. I watched his first film, Dirty Work. I actually have the Norm Show here somewheres. And that show is of great significance because not only was it only ran for 4 seasons and then chopped at the height of its peak, but it also has Artie Lang's acting career debut. So it's pretty interesting to see. Norm was also a frequent guest on the Stern Show, and it was just classic. And one of the basic classic moments of Norm Macdonald's career, other than his film Dirty Work, was Celebrity Jeopardy, Saturday Night Live inspired parody of Jeopardy. Will Ferrell plays Alex Trebek. And if you haven't seen it, Norm Macdonald plays Burt Reynolds, a.k.a. Turd Ferguson, and it is really, really probably one of the best Saturday Night Live sketches ever. And when you follow Norm's career, and, like I do, he wasn't really funny, but there was something about him that you just found humorous. I mean, that was the beauty of him. He didn't try to impress you. He was just Norm. And Lorne Michaels saw that, so when he cast him in Saturday Night Live, he said, look, just do something. And Norm would always be a character, but he was always Norm, in that character, portraying that character. His voice didn't change, his mannerisms didn't change. It was just amazing to see Norm Macdonald. And he was one of those people that you figure, you know what, he's going to be off the grid for a while. He'll come back with a new movie. He was also in Billy Madison with former Saturday Night Live Adam Sandler, But Norm's best stuff, like I said, was the Celebrity Jeopardy sketch. It was also Dirty Work, which a lot of people rip on, but, I mean, it's cute. And I don't think a film has been made like it where there's 2 idiots who get a revenge for hire business going. And I saw that film basically because Artie was talking about it on the Stern Show, and then I saw Norm Macdonald. And my earliest memory of Norm Macdonald was on Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live. And I saw him on Dirty Work, and he was way younger. And I'm like, whoa. And Norm always had that catchphrase, hi, I'm Norm Macdonald, and it's the fake news. Now, he had got fired from Saturday Night Live because he had claimed that the Saturday Night Live NBC was tired of him making OJ jokes. Remember when that whole trial went on and you got Marcia Clark and you got Bob Shapiro and all that mess? Yeah. A lot of jokes were made, but somehow Norm was made the target of that. And for years, he had said the NBC brass had fired him over controversial jokes. Well, I put him in my watch list. So if you guys, find it controversial, then you tell me. But I don't think he intended for them to be anything but jokes. And that's what's bad about today's culture. And back in the 80s and early 90s, you could make jokes about anything and people would laugh. Now you got to watch what you say or else you're going to end up in a bar fight or your head's going to be put through a window because of something stupid. It's not even worth it. I really liked Norm Macdonald. I thought he was pretty good. And my wife actually found the article. I had just come out of the shower. I got dressed and I was going to get a snack. And she's like, Greg, you're going to want to read this. And I looked at that article and I said, oh, shit. He was a cool dude. I liked him. And he never heard nothing bad happen to him. He was never arrested, never got, busted for drugs. He was always on the straight and narrow. So Norm Macdonald, he will be missed. I don't know. And yeah, I just wanted to, to let you guys know, what's up. But yeah, in no way do I like telling people what to do. My buddy, he was funny. He comes over, he says, hey, Greg, why don't you ever be boss? You'd be a cool dude. And I said, dude, I don't like telling people what to do. I don't like it. And I'd rather be a cool dude that gets around with everybody instead of that dude that starts barking orders and telling people what to do. That ain't me. So, I just figured I'd get on there, tell you those kind of things. And I will do a review of Halloween Kills when it comes out. Yeah, there is one more thing. I don't know where it's going to premiere, but if you're a fan of the Twisted Metal video games, you guys remember those? That's where you picked a car and a driver. And they were all serial killers, criminals, lowlife degenerates from the wrong side of the tracks. And they fought each other in a death match or death race to get the ultimate prize. So whatever their fantasy was, they would get it from a guy named Calypso. Well, they made about 5 games of these. And if you guys want to see how dark and wicked they are, check out Twisted Metal Black. I'm sure you can find a playthrough somewhere online here. On YouTube, probably. And I'm sure that you're going to see that they're pretty wicked. But anyway, there's going to be a television show based on this stuff. So you guys can check it out. I don't know where or when. I just heard rumors that it's in production. Also a Resident Evil movie that's based on the events of the actual first game where you're in the Wesker Mansion is being produced. But I can't find anything around that either. But, But anyway, I just figured I'd give you a review and let you guys know what's up. And 'tis the season. We're going to be watching a couple more scary movies this year, and I'm going to give you the rundown just like I did last year. And I want to say last year was kind of abbreviated because I know I did some Tales from the Crypt stuff and some other stuff, and I didn't really get to fully dive in on some of this stuff. So we got a lot of horror stuff coming at you, trust me. And speaking of horror, if you like horror and murder and you're into rap, check out Necro. This guy's pretty damn sick. But he'll keep your mom out of your room, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I hope everybody out there is being cool, being safe. But hey, man, I'm still here. We're still rocking. It's just life in general, man. That's like I had somebody come up to me and go, dude, why don't you, make about 1,500 videos a day? Well, hey, man, I don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of time because I'm working. I work an 8-hour job. I come home. I got to run around, get the groceries, do all that, get the haircut, go into town. I come back. And yeah, there are times I do want to get up off my tail and come down here and tell you guys what's up. But life kicks your ass, man. Life does. But at the end of the day, the people that appreciate, any little thing. Like I was telling my buddy the other day, we're playing through this game Remnant, and it's one of them games where you have to level up and then you beat a boss. You got to level up some more, beat another boss. You can't do that by yourself. So he jumped in. We started kicking tail on it, right? And I said to him, hey, man. I said, before we go any further, I just want to thank you because I would still be stuck, with that first boss. He said, man, ain't no thing. And I think that's what it is. I mean, it might be the really little things, and I'm going to leave you guys with this. It might be the really little insignificant things that maybe aren't a big deal to that other person, but they are to you. And that, to me, any little thing, because nobody's got to do nothing for nobody, right? But when you take time out of your day to help out somebody in the smallest, minusculest little detail, little way, sometimes to people like me, that means the world. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. And I'm going to get up out of here, but I hope everybody stays safe. Wear your mask. But if you're going to wear the mask, man, wear something cool, man. Just, you're a horror fan, get a Jason mask. If you a surgeon, get a surgeon mask. Mess it up with one of them face shields or something. Do something. Be creative. It's not like you asked for this. So you might as well deal with it, and you might as well be awesome while you do. And that's all I got, man. But hey, I miss all you guys, and I'm going to try to rock it again here even harder. This pandemic has taken the wind out of everybody's sails, I'm going to tell you. But I hope one day I can get up out of bed. I can go outside. And life will be back to normal, man. That's what I hope. And hopefully sometime I get there soon. You got trick or treat around the corner. I don't want 500,000 surgeons trying to get, candy for me. That ain't going to happen. But anyway, man, that's where we're at. Catch y'all later.